Okay, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, let us continue our simple discussion regarding uh, chapter 4 regarding the crime scene investigation techniques and procedures. So last time we ended our discussion on the checklist, you know, checklist that must be considered by an investigator in his endeavor as far as the conduct and procedures of or in procedures in crime scene investigation. So I hope you are on track, no, for us to continue that particular discussion. Okay, so once again, no, uh, do not forget what we have, the topics that we were able to discuss at the last part as far as chapter 4 is concerned. So we ended on the investigator's checklist. No? So, the investigator's checklist is a standard guide for the procedures that an investigator must no do and perform properly at the crime scene, especially during crime scene investigation. So these are the basic, no, that you should not skip, no, na hindi pwedeng ipagpaliban, na hindi pwedeng ipagwalang bahala. These are the procedures that you must do. That is why it is called a checklist, no? Yan. Parang pag ikaw ay pupunta sa palengke at you have checklist, then those are the things that you have to buy. So like that, as investigator, these are the things and procedures that you should perform properly. Okay. So again, no, uh, I already discussed this part, and we ended in this particular part on the measures undertaken by the first officer or the first responder who arrived at the crime scene. So, example in murder cases where the body is still on the scene, no, you have to check, no, post-mortem changes. And I said last time that post-mortem means after death, no, after death. Meron din tayong tinatawag na ante-mortem. No, these are legal medicine terms, or these are medical legal terms, no? So post-mortem is before, post, after death, and ante, as in A-N-T-E, ante-mortem means before death. So that is the difference of post-mortem and ante-mortem. Okay? And those post-mortem changes, example of which, and as I said, we will discuss this medical legal issues about the investigation of death now in the next chapter. No, so I would like to correct this part. No, I was also misled last time that livor mortis, that is the blood circulation stops. That is livor mortis. Then ang algor mortis, that is the cooling of the body. Yan. So let me repeat. Algor mortis, that is the cooling of the body after death. And livor mortis, that is the blood accumulation after death. Okay? Uh, Tinatawag din ang livor mortis na postmortem lividity. No? So ang livor mortis, pag namatay ang tao, nawawalan na ng gravity, no? Yung flow ng blood natin, kaya ang blood, no, bumabagsak 'yan. Sa kung saan ang lowest, no? Lowest part of the body. Kaya pag ang tao, nung namatay siya is nakataob siya facing the ground, no? Then yung blood after death is mag-accumulate in the lower part of the body. Kaya makikita mo sa kanyang buksik, for example, or sa kanyang breast, may mga blood, no, formation, no, reddish siya, no, or whatever color, reddish. Yan yung blood accumulated, no? Yan kasi nag-stop na yung flow ng blood. Kaya dahil nag-stop na yan, babagsak na yan kung saan ang pinaka mababa na parte or position ng iyong katawan at doon mag-urnong yung dugo at makikita mo yan after death. Kaya ano ang indication nito, no? As investigator, pag pumunta ka sa crime scene at nakita mong may post-mortem lividity or liver mortis, nakatihaya na siya, no? At his back, at nakikita mo yung post-mortem lividity sa stomach niya, then basically yung ibig sabihin na alter or nagalaw yung corpse or yung cadaver or yung body of the victim, no? Yan. Okay? So, yan ang liver mortis. Yan ang liver mortis. Alright? Then, ang isa din na post-mortem changes is the so-called algor mortis. Ang algor mortis, as you see in my arrow here, is the cooling of the body. No? Pag matamatay ang tao, commonly, mainit-init pa. But of course, ang mangyayari dyan is mag-cool down yung katawan, kaya nakakaroon ng cooling of the body. Kaya medyo tawag doon na malamig-lamig na pag ang katawan ng isang patay na tao. Okay? So, yan. Commonly, no? Commonly, anyway, we will discuss this, no? Ilang oras bago magkaroon ng liver mortis, ilang oras after death bago makakaroon ng algor mortis, ilang oras, no? Nandoon sa 3 to 6 hours, yan. But again, we will discuss that in the next chapter, no? So, another change is the rigor mortis, so that you will distinguish these three, algor, liver, and rigor, no? Pinagpalit ko lang yan kasi medyo iba yung ano niya dito, no? So rigor mortis naman, that is the stiffening of the body. Stiffening meaning paninigas, no? Or pagtigas ng katawan, no? Meron din tayong tinatawag na cadaveric spasm. Cadaveric spasm. Ang cadaveric spasm is iba yan sa rigor mortis. Iba yan, but they are the same in the sense na parehas that there is stiffening. Pero ang rigor mortis, for example, nakita mo yung katawan ng tao, nakaganyan, yan, nakita mo yon timmangken, no? Yung kamay niyang lalaka na ganyan, or example, nakaganyan yung kamay niya at tumigas yan, that is the cadaveric spasm. Ibig sabihin, ang cadaveric spasm, that is an indication kung ano ang huling ginawa or ano ang huling trauma na nangyari sa taong yan. Okay? Example, nakita mo yung katawan, nakataas yung kamay niya at tumigas. No? Nakataas. Ibig sabihin, yan yung huli niyang nagawa. Yan. Nung siya ay namatay. Yan. So, ang cadaveric spasm, hindi buong katawan yan. Nakikita mo yan in certain part of the body depending on the trauma or the last action taken or absorbed by the person, no? So, ang rigor mortis, that is a natural occurrence after death. No, buong katawan yan, titigas yan. Okay? Yan ang rigor mortis. Hindi naman pinatay ka after 1 second at tumigas ka na. Walang ganun. Kaya pag tumigas na yung bangkay, then basically, pwede mong i-estimate yung time of death. Commonly, ang algor, liver, and rigor, you can use this to estimate the possible time of death or ilang oras na siyang patay or araw. Okay? So do not forget that. No. Kaya pag nakita mo skeletonized na yung victim, then basically namatay na yan 30 days ago or more. Okay? Mm. Then another there in murder cases, did you do life-saving measures? Yan, nag-first aid ka ba? Okay? Is it the scene, the primary crime scene, or a finding place? Yan, so sinasabi ko last time that ang primary crime scene is kung saan mismo direct na nangyari yung crime, no? And the other place, the adjacent, those are the secondary crime scene. Okay, so another that you should remember as part of the checklist is the you see body brought to the hospital, no? Ano ang gagawin mo? Officers immediately ordered to proceed to the hospital. Yan, kailangan may sasama dyan. Seizure of the victim clothes, kailangan kunin mo yan kasi nagagamit yan as evidence. Interviews with attending hospital staff, yan. Who brought the body to the hospital, okay? Kung hindi ang police at sumunod lang doon, then you interview sino ang nagdala sa hospital. How has clothing been handled? Yan. Presence of wallet, meron bang wallet? Mobile phone, ID cards, and other items. If shots have been fired, paraffin test of the person's hands for extraction of gunpowder residue. And in kidnapping or abduction cases, no, accurate description of the kidnapped person must be established. No, accurate description of all circumstances around the abduction. Collection of dental records. Kaya nga, pag nagpapadentist ka at is required by law, na ikaw ay bigyan ng record. Kaya may record ka pag nagpapadentist ka. No? Then X-ray pictures, collection of medical records, seizure of DNA carrying items such as toothbrush. Yan, kasi pwedeng mag-extract yan ng DNA sample na pwedeng gamitin. Then fingerprints, comparison samples from relatives, preferably mother. Then photograph, then flash alarm, if there is a flash alarm. Then in all other cases, ano ang dapat mong gawin as part of the checklist? Cordon off a sufficiently large area around the crime scene. Yan sinasabi ko, you have to cordon off a sufficiently habang hindi pa huli ang lahat. Kasi pag kuripot ka at kinordon mo, especially sa mga first officer, the first responder, then basically baka ma-miss mo yung evidence. Kasi baka tumakbo yung suspect, tinapon niya yung weapon use sa isang malayong area from the primary crime scene, then hindi mo na yan makukuha or pwedeng mawala yan. So that is why you have to cordon off a sufficiently large area. Okay? Ensure protection of the cordon of crime scene and secure evidence that could be destroyed by external factors. Yeah. Record and or take note of everyone who enters the crime scene. Notes bystanders. Yan, kasi malay mo yung mga bystanders, andyan pala ang possible suspect. Make a documentation of the crime scene through photograph or sketch. And sketch. Well, yan. Make a description of the surrounding area of the scene. Yan, like dwellings, no? Shops, bus stops, baka dyan nagtago yung suspect or nagmanman. Then take note of license plates of parked cars. Yan, kasi baka may isa dyan sasakyan ng suspect. Then check for presence of CCTV, especially today, na yan ang isa sa pinaka-practical na magamit to identify a suspect, no, or how the incident happened. Then mobile phone, yan, so that you can check kung sino ang katransaction or ano ang laman yan. Okay, crime scene examination. Ano ang gagawin mo as investigator, no, in the examination of the crime scene? You have to follow the protocols, no, documentation, no? Yung mga kinolek mo na samples, did you do the proper procedure? No? We will see the proper procedures in the as we go on. Collected samples, further forensic investigations. What is there a result of it? Then prudence of early. What is prudence? That is careful. Ah, decision to lift the cordon. Kaya pag naglilip ka ng cordon, kailangan you are prudent in the sense na talagang ni-exert mo lahat ng possible actions para ma-maximize mo yung paghahanap ng evidence at kung wala na itong maguha before you lift the cordon or release the crime scene. Okay? Yan, as far as crime scene examination is concerned. Then, in number 9, the organizational setup, no? In cases of major crimes or sensational crimes like murder cases that, no? Especially pag it attracts attention of national attention or the mass media, yan. At saka the assessment of the investigators talagang kailangan ng mas masusi at mas maramihang investigation. In other words, kailangan i-activate lahat ng resources just to solve a specific crime, then an SITG must be organized. Ang SITG is Special Investigation Task Group. Yan. Yan. Example, yung may isang tao, example sa Baguio City, yung natagpuan na hinulog na bangkay na nawawala, nakita pala hinulog sa isang bangin, no? Na tatad ng saksak, no? Yan. It attracts attention of media and national public, that and of course the complications or the crime is complex in the sense that it is very difficult, no, to determine and accomplish the threefold aims of investigation. Then an SITG must be established. Itong SITG, that is an example of a specialized crime investigation. Okay? Allocation of resources. Yan. Meron, of course, when you organize something, resources is very important. Officer in charge. Yan. Mga team leader. Yan. Priorities and directions, tasking, documentation, daily briefings, contingency plans, media relations. Anyway, we will see this organizational setup of the SITG as we go on in our discussion. Number 10, alert other police stations and units in the adjacent areas. Yan. Alert so that they can conduct checkpoint, yan, and other police activities that will help the solution of the crime involved. And routines, yan. Immediately measure to track down and apprehend the perpetrator, such as the establishment of checkpoints, employment of canine, and flash alarms. Yan. Okay? Katulad ng nangyari dyan na ninakaw ang isang motorcycle here in Alfonso Lista, because of checkpoints, no, they activated the trackdown. They were able to apprehend the suspect. The number 12, canvassing operation. Canvassing is house to house. You visit house to house, you check them, you interview, you observe. Yan. Okay? Yan. Example, you can go and that is the term canvassing, no? So ano ang canvassing operation? Ang police officer mag house to house yan, nakikipag-usap, nag-interview, nag-observe, baka meron silang makuhang information. Yan ang canvassing operation. Then other initial measures. Kailangan tignan nyo ang CCTV, interview of people on the spot, treatment of witnesses and family of the victim, request of list of mobile communications, interviews with ambulance staff. If the victim is alive, And under treatment, there should be the presence of investigator. Then, man hotline. Yan. Kailangan may hotline yan. Sa atin, meron tayong 888. We adopted also 911. Then, other incident connected to the case, then contact the prosecutor. The number 14, postmortem examination. Ano again ang postmortem is after death examination. Meron din tayong ante-mortem. Yan. Wait lang, mahina. Anyway. So, ang postmortem examination and autopsy. So, ang autopsy is an example of postmortem examination. Yan. Okay? So, ang purpose ng autopsy or postmortem examination, no? Especially autopsy or necropsy. Alam nyo, there are kinds of autopsy. Meron tayong clinical autopsy. Yan is for purposes of education. Meron din tayong hospital. Yan ang hospital and clinical. They are the same. And meron tayong medical legal autopsy. Yan. So pag medical legal autopsy, ibig sabihin you conduct autopsy to